Welcome to Darren Daily On Demand, your most trusted resource to help you become better every day. Here's your success mentor, Darren Hardy.
Good morning. So if you missed yesterday's Darren Daily After Show, I highly recommend that you check it out. Yesterday, Coach K talked about how he found his love, his passion, and his purpose. He said, "I've been doing what I've wanted to do since I was 16 years old." Unfortunately, it is not that clear that early for most people. Recently on a podcast called How I Built This with Guy Raz, I heard the story of Tristan Walker, who founded the company Walker & Company, which sells hair and beauty products primarily for people of color, as he described, which then he sold to Procter & Gamble for some undisclosed godly amount. What is interesting about his story was he had several ideas and tried several things before he found his thing. Tristan went to a prestigious prep school. He got a BA in economics from Stony Brook University in New York and an MBA from Stanford. Tristan went to make his fortune on Wall Street. He worked at Lehman Brothers, at JP Morgan. That didn't really work out. He also worked at Boston Consulting Group. He worked at Twitter. He then worked at Foursquare. Still, not really his thing. He became an entrepreneur in residence in one of the most prestigious and well-connected venture capital firms in Silicon Valley, Andreessen Horowitz. His job was literally to just sit there all day and think of ideas. Nothing stuck until Walker & Company. And here's why, and here's the key point that I want to pass on to you here this morning. As a way of helping you find that authentic love and passion for what you do. He said, the key question to answer is, what are you uniquely qualified and positioned to do based on your background, your upbringing, your history, experience, and strengths? What are you uniquely qualified and positioned to do? What is a brand, a purpose, a mission, a story only you can tell? What is a problem you have or have had that makes you uniquely qualified to solve it? What has prepared, has trained, and has tested you to do the thing that you were destined to do? What is that backstory? For Tristan, as an African-American man, he couldn't shave because it broke him out in razor bumps. Because of all the products that were on the market, they were all designed for white people. It was a problem that was deeply personal to him. You can listen to the whole podcast for why that was. He was himself the target audience, an audience that shared his personal problem that he aimed to solve. But it wasn't just because he had the itch that he wanted to scratch for himself. It was also his unique education, his unique internships, his training, also the relationships that he had made over the last 20 years that made him uniquely positioned to start the kind of company that he did. It made me think about my own positioning and why I've been able to make things work. Being given up by my mother and having to achieve for the attention from my father made me uniquely qualified to be relentless in the pursuit of significance, to make a positive impact, to find my sense of importance. Not being innately talented or intellectually gifted made me a ravenous, growth-minded learner. And the ability to distill and to synthesize and simplify vast and complicated knowledge was my mental hack strategy. Then my 25 years in running major media platforms positioned me as the hub and central curator of the success media industry, putting me in direct access to the most successful people in the world. These are stories, are lessons, and success insights that only I can share because of that unique background. So think about yourself. How are you uniquely qualified and positioned to be doing what you're doing now? You should probably get better, even if you already know what that is, at telling that story. Or if you are not sure what you are uniquely qualified and positioned to do, let's figure it out together. I can help you. In my own quest to figure this out for myself, to figure out what I was designed to do, which took me 30 years, by the way, so if you're not there yet, that's okay. In doing this, I developed a process, one that I used for my own discovery and then have since used it many, many times in helping others discover their real, authentic passion and their unique purpose and their individual innate talents and strengths and capabilities. And most importantly, how to turn those talents into money, into a business that actually pays or a career ascension inside an organization. The workshop I provide for this is free. It's something that you can watch and participate in under 60 minutes. You can discover what took me 30 years to figure that out in under 60 minutes, a discovery that I can tell you radically changed my life, as it can change yours too. So, you tell us, what are you uniquely qualified and positioned to do based on what it is that you're doing? Is it in alignment or is it something else?
Hey, producer Mariana here. To get access to the workshop that Darren mentioned, go to darrenhardyworkshop.com. Got that? darrenhardyworkshop.com. Oh, and if you missed the after show, there's a link in the show notes for that as well.